Forecast First, sponsored by Matex Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
It's been such a nice, comfortable day. Figured might as well go out in the Matex Heating and Cooling weather guard, where it is very comfortable out here. 81 degrees in Champaign, 78 degrees in Danville, 78 also in Watseka, and 82 in Decatur. We got our Pontiac RV weather camera up, part of the roof in Diana. In Pontiac, you can see there's hardly any clouds out there, with winds remaining out of the north, generally under 10 miles an hour. So coming up, we are talking about more in the way of nice conditions for the evening and overnight hours, and then another nice day for tomorrow. WCIA 3 News starts right now.
Now on WCIA 3 News.
Security cameras are becoming pretty common. How one police department wants to use yours to help solve crimes.
A week has gone by since the sentencing of Brent Christensen, while Ying Zhang's family is still here in central Illinois.
They're calling it dirty politics. Who confessed to posing as a reporter to ambush a candidate for Congress? Coming up.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 6.
Just more eyes in the city of Danville at one point in time.
It's a push to add more security to security cameras. Police can hone in on solving crimes. Good evening, I'm Paul Cicchini.
And I'm Jennifer Roscoe. The Danville Police Department wants to roll out a program that speeds up investigations and strengthens the city's safety. It comes after a string of violent crimes so far this year. They raised the idea at last night's city council meeting, and police say the city jumped on board immediately. WCIA 3's Emily Braun live in Champaign. Emily, so what's the idea?
Jennifer, the Danville Police Department will ask anyone who has a security camera at their home or business, like the ones here at WCIA 3, if they want to register them with the city. Let's say we're in Danville. If something were to happen around here, police know we've got cameras. So they'd call and ask us if they can use our footage. And as long as we give them consent, they could probably solve crimes a lot faster. If you go to Custard Cup in Danville, you're looking for a treat. Chances are you're not looking at these, but they're looking at you. Rodney Smart says he thinks it's wise to have as many eyes as possible.
With what's going on in the city of Danville, I think that if people have them at their house or on their business, they have them positioned so that you can see what's going on. So why wouldn't you want to register them so the police department can have a better look?
He's got security cameras both here and at his home. If anything happened, he'd sign up to help police in a heartbeat.
The police department then has more eyes that they can see and see what's going on.
A new pitch would give everyone with a security camera on their business or home the chance to register it with the city. That way, if there's a crime nearby, police can get a clear picture of who's got a camera that could help. It's completely anonymous, no strings attached.
Traditionally, there's somewhat of a hesitancy to work with the police in certain neighborhoods or certain areas. So our goal is to try to make everybody feel comfortable, and if we could find a way to where people may not have to interact with the police.
He hopes this angle to policing captures suspects and helps people with security cameras feel even more secure.
But I think it'll help combat crime. I think it'll make us a little more effective at our job. It may incentivize people to want to put some cameras up that don't already have them.
Like Denise Crook. This is the home security she has right now, but when she heard this idea, she said she'd be on board.
I think it would definitely help. I mean, I'm sure everyone would benefit from a security system, home security system.
Commander Miller said this would allow police to jump on a case more quickly and let the community get involved as well. His goal is to get it started within the next 30 days. The software for the program already exists, so the implementation for it would be free. Live in Champaign, Emily Braun, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
All right, Emily, thank you so much. Danville police say they got this idea from Bloomington Police. They have a similar program. Now, Emily, excuse me, also reached out to Champaign Police. They told us they don't have a program like this, but they think there's enough merit to consider it. We have new details tonight. Security cameras are also to thank for leading police to Brent Christensen. He was sentenced to life in prison last week for kidnapping and killing U of I scholar Ying Zhang 2 years ago. Her family is planning to meet with federal investigators and Champaign County Crime Stoppers before they leave the area. They hope those investigators will help them get closer to Zhang's remains. Davis. Steve Beckett, a lawyer working with the family, says they plan to leave in August to return to China.
We have an update now. A man accused of murder will have his charges dropped. The community is hoping the person responsible for the killing will be found. Cody Drew was stabbed to death in August. Ray James was arrested for murder. Now authorities say there's not enough evidence to keep him behind bars.
He was a very, very free-spirited kid, and like I say, if you know, some kind of justice could be brought, I already thought it already had been done, so I was very surprised to hear the news.
The Macon County State's attorney says the investigation's ongoing. They're working on bringing justice for that family. A teenager in Edgar County is behind bars charged with arson. 19-year-old Devin DeWeese was arrested in Paris Sunday night. He's accused of setting a vehicle on fire earlier this month. He also had an outstanding warrant in Edgar County. The 2020 election is still 15 months away, but the race for Congress is already getting ugly and personal.
Tonight, we reveal audio evidence of a campaign volunteer posing as a reporter to sabotage a rival's news conference call. Congressman Rodney Davis's campaign manager tried to deny he was involved, but when we confronted the volunteer himself, he gave us a full confession. Capitol Bureau Chief Mark Maxwell traced the call back to someone volunteering for the Davis campaign. Mark, what is the campaign saying about this?
Jennifer, good evening. I called Rodney Davis's campaign manager, Matt Butcher, yesterday, presented him with all the evidence, told him I had a full confession. We knew who made the call. We knew who sent him to do it. Still, Matt Butcher tried to deny that he had any knowledge of what happened last Wednesday. That's when the Davis campaign's rival, Betsy Dirksen-Londrigan, was holding a press call together with a campaign finance reform group called End Citizens United. That was supposed to be with reporters only, or so they thought. That was until someone chimed in and started asking very specific, very pointed questions. Let's listen in here, first to how the Davis volunteer introduces himself, and then a second snippet later in the call, how he goes after Dirksen-Londrigan's husband.
Yes, hello. Yeah, this is Jim Sherman from the La Salle newspaper at SIUE.
And I get elected to Congress, that I am going there to answer to the people and not the corporate PAC.
Yeah, but what's to stop a corporate lobbyist, corporate PAC like your husband, a corporate lobbyist for McGuire Woods, from just funneling money to the Deep Triple C, which you then benefit from?
Look, I am running for Congress, not my husband. It's 2019, and I think it's time for women to be judged on our own and not by our husbands' careers. But thank you for asking.
The content of that call all over whether a candidate for Congress can be bought or paid for. I called the editor of that student paper at SIUE. They told me, quote, we have not had anyone by the name of Jim Sherman work here. The student admissions office also said we do not have anyone by the name of Jim Sherman associated with SIUE. I contacted the group who hosted that phone call and got the call log and tracked that number back to someone I've worked with in the past. I had his number in my phone, Nick Klitzing. Turns out he's the former campaign manager for former Governor Bruce Rauner and former executive director of the Illinois Republican Party. He knew he was caught red-handed. He gave us a stone-cold confession, Klitzing admitting to me, quote, I was willing to help. I'm just a volunteer, from his place in Chicago. End Citizens United president Tiffany Muller, who was also on that call, was outraged at this stunt. She said, quote, impersonating a college student in order to lob false partisan attacks is dirty politics and shows how low Rodney Davis's campaign is willing to sink. Also, quote, Rodney Davis should condemn these attacks and stop the dirty politics. Jennifer, to be honest, I'm not even sure if Congressman Davis is aware his campaign is doing this. We've had no luck after 24 hours getting any statement or any response of any kind, any explanation to how they did this, why they did this to ambush that call.
Well, Mark, I'm sure you are going to continue to try to get a comment from Rodney Davis about all of this. Let us know when you do. All right, thank you so much.
They're becoming a problem in one city in central Illinois where signs now don't belong.
Also tonight.
I like being on the radar, I'm not gonna lie to you.
It's one of the top high school players in the country, and Illinois coaches are getting a chance to see him up close this week.
Very comfortable today in the low 80s again for our high temperatures, even a little bit below average. As we go through the rest of the work week, though, we do have more in the way of heat and humidity, as well as some beneficial rain on the way next.